Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. 90 Day Fiancé Niles Valentine goes over the top. 90 Day Fiancé star Niles Valentine is facing backlash following the first part of the BF90 tell-all. Chaos spread early in the segment. The cast members all had something to say about each other. However, Niles took others' opinions too harshly, upsetting many viewers. Keep reading to see the discussion. Niles introduced himself as an autistic man who fell in love with a woman from Ghana. The 90 Day Fiancé star admitted that looking for love with his condition wasn't an easy task. Niles stated, "Not the least of which is me being forthcoming with the truth. Even when I know what I'm supposed to do, actually following through is difficult." Niles also sees his relationship with Matilda as an example of how difficult it is to enter a relationship as an autistic person, adding, "It's not easy for me. It just isn't." Some 90 Day Fiancé fans on Reddit react to Niles Valentine's behavior during the first part of the BF90 tell-all. According to the poster, they're a fan of Niles calling out cast members for their wrongdoings with their respective partners. He yelled his opinions and aggressively pointed out each participant's bad side, especially Adnan's. However, the OP doesn't like how Niles can't seem to take criticism, and even squared up whenever he received negative comments from others. Regardless, many believe that it's a sign that not many people understand autism. I died when he popped his glasses up to get in Adnan's face at the end. Niles did what we've been wanting people to do at the tell-alls for years, actually calling people on their sh rather than playing nice. I think it's more interesting that people are reacting so differently towards him than anyone else because of his autism. It's important to remember that heightened emotional experiences is a common attribute of autism. I could see actually that he was trying his best to regulate, but it's not that easy. Autism 101. He struggles with social interactions and expressive language. I wish Matilda was with him, she might have been able to help him not come across as so aggressive. Tiger Lily doesn't appreciate how Niles tried to save her from Adnan's controlling behavior. Tiger Lily said that Adnan controls her in a positive way. The 90 Day Fiancé star then took to her IG stories to share her opinion on Niles' condition. She believes that Niles is not on the spectrum, adding that she has worked with people with disabilities for years. Tiger Lily added, "But regardless, even if he is, it doesn't give a free pass to be in a hole." 90 Day Fiancé, Niles Valentine goes over the top. In the world of reality television, few moments can truly capture the heart of a season like the unfolding drama and colorful personalities of 90 Day Fiancé. From cross-continental love stories to over-the-top proposals, the show is a whirlwind of cultural differences, clashing ideals, and unpredictable twists. Yet, one particular personality from the latest season has stolen the spotlight with his unique flair: Niles Valentine. His antics have stunned both viewers and fellow cast members, earning him a reputation for going above and beyond, but not always in the way you might expect. Niles is a man who lives by the motto "go big or go home," but in his case, going big has often meant taking things to a level of spectacle that feels almost surreal. From the very first episode, his unrestrained enthusiasm and eccentric personality stood out in a crowd of characters who, though full of drama, rarely took things to such absurd heights. Niles' journey began as a heartfelt story of a man trying to build a life with a woman from across the globe. Initially, it seemed like a typical love story. He had fallen in love with a beautiful woman from a distant country, and now they were navigating the complex world of long-distance romance. However, things quickly escalated when Niles started to make bold moves that quickly turned from charming to downright over the top. One of the most memorable moments of Niles' saga was his proposal to his fiancée, Jasmine. Rather than a quiet, intimate gesture, Niles took the idea of romance to a whole new level. He didn't just ask for her hand in marriage, he orchestrated an entire production, complete with fireworks, live music, and a hired professional actor to pretend to be her long-lost relative arriving just in time for the big moment. He even went as far as to ensure that the engagement ring was delivered on a silver platter, carried by a skydiving team who rained down the ring from above. Jasmine, stunned by the spectacle, couldn't help but laugh. Was it excessive? Absolutely. But for Niles, the more attention, the better. His reasoning: he wanted the world to see how much he loved her, and there was no better way than to make it the most extravagant proposal the world had ever seen. His commitment to going over the top was nothing short of breathtaking and utterly bewildering. But the drama didn't stop there. Niles' every move seemed designed to shock, amuse, and confuse his friends and family. While his intentions were often well-meaning, his methods left people questioning whether he was living in a dream world where grand gestures were always the answer to every problem. Take, for instance, the surprise helicopter ride to Paris' anniversary celebration. In reality, the helicopter ride only lasted 10 minutes and ended up being a scenic tour of a nearby park. But to Niles, it was all about giving the impression of grandiosity and convincing Jasmine that the relationship was worth every penny and minute spent. But what many viewers may not realize is that Niles' over-the-top nature is rooted in something deeper, a fear of mediocrity. Niles wasn't merely interested in impressing his fiancée with lavish gifts and grand schemes. He was terrified that his love story would be remembered as ordinary. In a world full of viral moments, Instagram posts, and reality TV drama, Niles didn't want to fade into the background. He wanted to be unforgettable. This urge for grandeur bled into his everyday life. It wasn't just his relationship that saw an outpouring of extravagant displays, it was his lifestyle, too. His wardrobe was nothing short of flamboyant, from custom-made, rhinestone-encrusted jackets to designer shoes that glistened with each step. Niles' closet became a showcase of his commitment to leaving an impression wherever he went. Even casual outings were opportunities for Niles to dress up in outfits that begged for attention. His logic: if you're not going to stand out, then what's the point? The truth was that Niles, for all his outward bravado, was an extremely insecure man. He often found himself wrestling with self-doubt and a deep need to prove his worthiness. While some viewers saw him as simply a show-off, others saw the deeper vulnerability beneath his flashy exterior. When Niles talked about his past relationships, the cracks in his carefully crafted persona were evident. His history was filled with failed romances, each one seeming to reinforce his belief that love alone wasn't enough. If he couldn't find success through modest means, he would find it through spectacle. There was a darker side to Niles' tendency to go overboard: his need for validation from others. Time and again, we saw him go to extreme lengths just to be noticed, often to the detriment of his relationship. Whether it was posting controversial social media photos, organizing bizarre celebrations, or dragging his friends and family into his schemes, Niles' desire to be the center of attention put a strain on his relationship with Jasmine. She grew increasingly frustrated with his inability to tone it down, as the extravagant surprises felt more like an attention-seeking performance than genuine acts of love. But despite the drama, it was hard not to root for Niles. Behind the over-the-top gestures and flamboyant displays, there was a man who genuinely loved Jasmine and wanted the best for their future. His grandiose attempts to prove his love were misguided, perhaps, but his intentions were often filled with heart. Niles' need to make a lasting impression wasn't about materialism, it was about the deep fear of losing the one thing that truly mattered to him: love. In a particularly emotional scene, Niles and Jasmine sat down to have an honest conversation about their relationship. Niles admitted that all of his over-the-top gestures were rooted in a deeper fear that without them, he might be seen as ordinary or forgettable. Jasmine, though perplexed by his methods, began to understand the pain that motivated his actions. She reassured him that what truly mattered was not the extravagance, but the sincerity of his feelings. It was a turning point for both of them, and perhaps a glimpse into Niles' potential to balance his larger-than-life persona with a more grounded understanding of love. As the season came to a close, viewers were left with mixed feelings. Was Niles the lovable eccentric that just needed to be understood, or was he a man stuck in an endless cycle of trying too hard to prove his worth? One thing was clear: Niles Valentine was never going to be forgotten. Whether you loved him or found his antics exhausting, his time on 90 Day Fiancé was unforgettable, and his unrelenting drive to go big or go home would remain an iconic part of the season's narrative. In the world of 90 Day Fiancé, Niles Valentine had truly gone over the top, and in doing so, he created a legacy that would be remembered for seasons to come.